everyone, welcome back to another Exos Heroes video. What we want to do today is take a look at the Gold Fatecore Selection Ticket and think about which hero is going to be the best for you to pick. We want to try to keep this video on the shorter side, so let's get started. The first thing we want to do is try to categorize all of these heroes. So obviously in this list of 16 Fatecores, 5 of them are generals, and these are the original 5 that were introduced with the game: Bathory, Garf, Jinai, Rachel, and Shufraken. And now generals are always going to be good value, especially so with the introduction of Signature Force. Now with that having been said, if you have a general that's already +1 transcended, and you only need one more to open up Signature Force, then we think it's probably worth it for you to grab a general, because Signature Force provides so much value in PvP and PvE. Moving on past the generals, we're going to get into a category called Independent. And so these are units that are going to function well in PvE and PvP, and they could slot into any team on their own and just do 100% of their job and do it well. So the top 2 heroes in the independent category are going to be Iris and Tantalo. Now, if you guys have played PvP at all, you know how important it is to have Iris, and ever since she's been introduced, she's basically had a permanent spot in the meta. And ever since Tantalo's core reverse, he's kind of been in the same spot, where his passives bring a lot of value to every team in all content. The other 2 heroes in the independent category are just a slight step down, and that's going to be Rira and Talia. We would consider FC Rira the quintessential DPS unit. She's had a consistent spot in the meta, specifically in PvP, and when you think about it, there's nothing she doesn't do as a DPS. Taliyah is very similar to Rira, but in the support and healer role. She has amazing defensive and supportive utility in her passives, as well as her active skills synergizing very well with her passives as a way to keep the entire team alive through all types of damage. Moving on to the next category, we have Dependent. Now, dependent heroes can function well on their own, but to reach their maximum potential, they do have to be paired with another hero, and most of the time, as you'll notice in this list, it'll be with a general. So just going in alphabetical order, we have April, Rudley, Shell, Valentina, and Zeon. Now April is a Fatecore that probably most of us remember because she was on banner just, 1 or 2 banners ago? She was pretty recent, and a lot of people were excited about her because she is a very strong unit that specializes in breaking stall comps or frontline heavy teams. The important thing to remember here though is why she's dependent. 2 of her passives, and these are the 2 passives that contribute most to her strengths, and the special effects on her A1, all 3 of these are tied to Dishearten. They only work on enemies that are disheartened, which means Rachel needs to be on the field and he needs to have higher attack than the enemy. Assuming that's the case, then April is amazing. But if you don't have Rachel, or maybe your Rachel isn't built out enough to consistently get disheartened on enemies, then April's value falls significantly. The same can be said for the other dependent heroes. Rudley obviously provides a lot of defensive utility with barriers and defense and HP buffs on his A1 and A2 respectively, but this is all tied to Garf. In Shell's case, one of her passives and all 3 special effects on her A1 are tied to Charm, which means you need a strong Jinai to be able to take advantage of all this extra utility Shell has. Valentina is potentially the worst offender of the 5, where all of her utility as a Gold Fatecore is tied behind Fear of the Abyss. And finally we have FC Zeon, whose optimal playstyle is to hit enemies quickly, one-shot them, and then get the reset to turn the tide in your favor early on in the fight. However, he's not able to get the reset without Dishearten from Rachel. So our recommendation with dependent heroes is this. If you have a strong general that's built out and you're far along in that nation's signature force, then it's a great idea to bring on a dependent Fatecore because they are going to synergize with that general and together generate more value than if you use either of them independently. Now last and unfortunately least, we have Jin and Ulum. With all the mechanics and systems that have been introduced to the game over time, the value of Jin and Ulum just went down significantly. Jin is ideally played as this fast, reset on kill assassin type hero. The problem with this is he has low mana cost and low multipliers. So he doesn't do enough damage on his own, and he can't take advantage of elemental damage through Signature Force. And not only that, but as a Heartstrike unit, he's one of the worst at proccing it on his own. Ulum also suffers from being left behind by these new systems. While she can take advantage of elemental damage from her high mana cost abilities, the problem is that she's a bit on the slower side as a defender, and not only that, but one of the main reasons you would bring Ulum before was because of the walk passive, which allowed you to break 3 random Guardian Stones when you hit an enemy with your abilities. But you look at heroes now with elemental damage from Signature Force and elemental enhancement, Literally any and every hero can break multiple Guardian Stones with their own abilities and basic attacks, so Ullum's one niche of being able to break multiple Guardian Stones has been taken away. And so, having covered these victims of progress, that about rounds it out for all of the heroes on this Fatecore selection ticket. Hopefully you were able to get some useful information to help you figure out what Fatecore is the right decision for you. And with that, if you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.